this, I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want to.
Okay, I think I got everything reconfigured right. Hopefully I got everything reconfigured right. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. This is your host, Marko Yamashita. I apologize for my lengthy absence. I know I'm speaking probably to an empty room right now, considering the fact that I've been gone so long and the fact that the YouTube algorithm has likely screwed everything up and people have moved on. However, I do hope that my regulars do see that this video or see that I'm live. Check out the VOD at somewhere at some point. You know, there's a lot of things have gone on here in the last few weeks, and I do want to cover a lot of things. Some of it real quickly, some of it will take a little bit of time. But the first and foremost, let's cover my health real quickly. First and foremost, so I have finally been testing negative for COVID for the last several days now. However, I am still suffering from some lingering effects of having COVID. Specifically, I'm still having some lung and throat issues, which unfortunately they haven't quite tracked down, you know, exactly what it is exactly, or you know, an exact diagnosis. So this week I gotta go through more tests, which has been a really big pain in the ass. However, they have at least cleared me from the actual infectious disease of COVID, which is a good thing. And you know, a lot of the other effects have of having the disease have slowly started wearing off. But for right now, I unfortunately do have to utilize an inhaler. I get these kind of, for lack of a better word, kind of like attacks of shortness of breath, where I feel like my lungs are just starting to close off, almost like asthma. I get kind of like the spacey head type of thing, where like I really have to concentrate on specific things. So sometimes I will like lose my train of thought. You know, I just haven't been able to kind of like get rid of this kind of like pressure or irritation in my bronchial area. So they still gotta do some tests on that. Calvin, good morning, good afternoon. Umberto, welcome. Nice to see you again, my friend. I'm glad to see you guys stopping in. Thank you so much for stopping in. It's great to see you guys. I'm really happy that you guys are here. I was hoping to catch as many people as possible. Thank you so much. But it's great to see you. Phoenix, great to see you, my friend. I'm so glad you guys are stopping in. Thank you so much for stopping in. It means a lot to me that you guys are stopping in, that you guys are, you know, are here. I'm glad I was able to catch you guys at a good time. Thank you so much. Thank you. The other thing that I've been kind of struggling with is I know you guys, you might have remembered that I've been having like this ear infection type of thing, and they discovered that I have like this really bad type of ear infection that they thought that they had been treating, and it's some kind of antibiotic resistant type of ear infection that that just hasn't gone away. So they've been constantly having to try to rotate the type of treatment that they've been using on it to try to make it go away, and that still hasn't gone away yet. So they're still working on that. You know, fortunately that hasn't caused any adverse side effects, but that's kind of the other things that's going on too. Um, Yeah, it's really tough, you know, because I mean I've been trying to record some stuff, and I'll be getting to that in a little bit. But I've been trying to record some stuff, and I've been having to kind of take some breaks along the way because I'll start talking, and I'll start, you know, reading my lines or doing the dialogue and everything like that, and then it's just like, you know, I start getting winded and out of breath, or I listen back to on the replay, and it sounds like I've just run a mile, you know, and it's like, oh, you know, but you know they're gonna run some more tests to find out, you know, I mean, if there's something more that's going on, or like if maybe they're treating it wrong, or if there's some other kind of therapy maybe that they can do to help with what's going on. Maybe there's some kind of therapy that they, you know, that they can utilize to help clear it up, and it's just some kind of irritation from the effects of having COVID, you know, that kind of thing. So we're definitely going to work on it. Phoenix, I understand. Thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate it. The VOD's going to be here if you want to keep listening. I have some interesting stuff that's going to be later on about the channel future. So if you want to listen in later, please stop back in later. Thank you so much for stopping in. So just moving on real quickly. You know, I also, you guys know that I had surgery on my hand and wrist. That has healed very well. However, I am, how can I explain this? Part of the process of healing and the physical therapy that's involved in that is trying to regain the feeling back, and the mobility and everything else back, and I haven't been able to gain back some of the sensation in some of my fingers, and so it kind of affects some of what I can do. As a result, it kind of affects some of the, my ability to play some games, some, be able to do some stuff, how long I can play some things, so on and so forth. We're still kind of working on those types of things, but that's another reason why, I haven't, despite the fact that I could have just been streaming something, and playing a random game, I haven't been, is because I've been continuing to have, to rehab my hand, and then, I've been having the problems with numbness and everything else with the hand. So now I have been able to play off and on with if any of you guys have followed Hoshinon, with her playing Splatoon, or a couple of the other smaller VTubers I also follow. I have been able to play with them off and on, but as you guys have noticed, I've only played like a few matches with them, and then I duck out. And that's because I play with them, I do a few matches, and then I have to rest my hand for a bit, and then maybe I'll jump back in later on. So no, that's fine, Phoenix. That is so fine. You're perfectly fine, Phoenix. I appreciate you just stopping in. I completely understand about you seeing someone starting to stream and then it's like I haven't slept in 18 hours. So no, I get it. I get it. So but I mean that my hand itself is healed very well. They're very happy with the way that it's healed. It's just that physical therapy and whether or not I gain back the sensation in my hand is it's been a process. So but I do still my number one thing has always been, I wanted to make a gaming channel, and I wanted to make a channel for a place where people can hang out and stuff like that, and that's always been my intent, and I kind of want to go back to doing that, even though that doesn't bring in a lot of people. It's still a fun place to chill and stuff like that. And I do want to play some of the stuff that stuff that comes out, maybe stuff that's a little bit exotic, things that the things that I want to play, things that that are new and hot, things that are maybe a little bit out there, things that are a little bit of retro, things like that. So I do want to get back to that, but that being said, yeah, that's just it. I did download the newest version of HoloCure, and I downloaded it because I saw that they had updated with Gen 0, and of course my number one target for the gacha was Roboco, so I unlocked Roboco, and that's the only thing I cared about. So I do have that, so I do intend on playing that a lot. Of course, HoloCure is one of the games that's on my on the radar. Of course, Splatoon 3 is if they're I know a lot of people are like, they're diehard Apex, they're diehard Valorant, or they're diehard I guess like the newest one that's going to be out soon is Overwatch 2. Since it has to go from Overwatch to Overwatch 2 and stuff like that. For the whole Battle Arena thing. My Battle Arena is Splatoon 3. Those other ones are just too fast for me, I guess. I don't know, but and maybe it's also because there's just too many components of trying to loot, organize your inventory, get rid of all the crap that you don't want or need or you accidentally picked up, trying to sort through all the stuff while you're being shot at, and it's like it's too much. I'd rather watch somebody play that than actually play it, So, but my thing is Splatoon 3, but then I have an entire back catalog that I still haven't played yet. I got I only got my Switch a year and 2 months ago. I still have Breath of the Wild I haven't played yet. I have Super Mario Odyssey I haven't played yet. And of course, I played the hell out of Mario Kart because I played with other VTubers. I still haven't beat Disgaea yet. I mean, I have a ton of Switch games I haven't beaten yet, you know. So at some point I want to get to that. But then I also have we're close to, it's coming up October, and I have a ton of horror games I want to play too. I haven't beat Resident Evil Village yet. So there's that. I recently bought Soma, so I want, and I haven't played that yet, so I want to play Soma. So I mean that's two horror games right there I want to play for this coming month. So I have a few games that that are coming up for this coming month that I do want to play. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that have played the Mortuary. And I've watched people play it, and I don't find it scary. I found it kind of boring, to be honest. But I mean, my Steam library, I have quite a few horror games in there. I know a lot of people have never seen or watched anyone play or read or seen the visual novel or the anime of Corpse Party. So I'd like to play that on stream, just so anyone who's interested in that can see that. There's a revamped version that came out last year that I haven't played, that we could play online. So I mean, there's plenty of games for October that's coming up, and then of course there's always new games that are coming out too. So I mean, that's what October is looking like. But the other thing is, I have a project that I've been working on for a while, and this the events that happened late August and early September with Hololive English's Coroni have given the opportunity for me to go ahead and start introducing the project I've been working on. Oreo, welcome. Welcome. Nice to see you. It's great to see you. Good morning. Good morning. And the project that I've been working on is it's not an attack on Hololive, okay? And I want to make that extremely clear. It's not an attack on Hololive, and it's not an attack on individuals within Hololive, or even specifically the entity themselves. Rather, it's a critical critique on the direction that the agency is going. And you guys might, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of it, but the interesting thing about Hololive that I've found over the last 8-9 months is Hololive has been shrinking in growth over this past year, and the numbers have reflected it. And I believe Covercore and the Hololive management have recognized that, and there's a lot of things that have been happening as a result that I think people are exiting Hololive as a fan base as a result. And the reaction by the management to try to offset that exodus is embraced by the people who are, the solidified fan base. However, it turns off the people that are either newcomers or the people that are the casual fans that, just kind of like, I don't want to, see this or put up with this, and then they go elsewhere, and the real tragedy of it is, and I'm not going to go into it too much in detail right now, but the real tragedy of it is, and again, when I do an entire presentation, that they could have offset a lot of these losses, and I will literally show you how they could have offset those losses with two simple judgment calls. But once I do the presentation, I already have 2 parts of the series already completed and in the bag, so it's just a matter of doing, planning that entire stuff out. But the other part, and the reason why I decided now is the time to start introducing that, is this past weekend has been really hard on me, guys. And I want you to I want you to understand something, okay? And I'm being extremely serious. People may criticize my opinion on this. However, people need to understand that, and especially, and I've been trying my best to explain this to my Japanese counterparts, that they really need to start introducing the difference between the fact that some VTubers are content creators and streamers, and some VTubers are trying to be idols. Okay? There's a difference. There is a huge difference. It's just like in real life how some VTubers are content creators that, all they do is play video games. That's all they do. Sometimes they sing and do karaoke. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But then you have the people that are trying to be celebrities, that are trying to be more than that they want to have albums, they want to have, the fame, and they want to be movie stars. And occasionally you get people that, they break into doing movies, or they, into TV and stuff like that. But not everyone is like that. Hoshinan was attacked online here these last 2 weeks, guys. Viciously attacked. Viciously attacked and stalked. Online. They tried stalking her while she was playing her Switch. They tried stalking her. They were literally stalking her on Twitter. They were stalking her social media accounts. They started stalking her on Instagram. They started stalking her everywhere, just because of one thing she did. One thing she did. They were criticizing her because of the way she handled her interaction with the people she was playing with when she was playing games with people. They didn't like the way she was handling it when she was playing with people. And they didn't like the fact that when, they saw her online, that she didn't want to play with people because she wasn't streaming. And they got mad. So they started stalking her and harassing her nonstop. She has stopped streaming right now. She's on hiatus. She's been forced to completely go offline. Completely offline. She's doing exactly what Rusia should have done. Okay, this is what, and let me make this abundantly clear. She's doing exactly what Rusia should have done when Rusia was terminated from Hololive. She has taken a complete silence off of the internet because she is now being stalked online because of somebody that is pissed off at her. I no longer have my little sister to play with every morning. I no longer have. She's no longer there for me to wake up to in the morning and say good morning to me. Sometimes I can say good morning to her by text and DM, but that's it. I mean, some people are like, "Oh, what's the big deal? She's just somebody that streams for a couple hours. You're making a big fuss." No, I actually built a freaking, a semi-decent relationship with her online and offline as friends. As a friend. And some dumbass who couldn't care less because, actually does care because he's stalking her, but some dumbass out there, who got hair up his ass, decided to start stalking her because he's like, well, you're trying to act like an idol, but yet you want the advantages of an idol, but you're not really an idol, and you're only a small streamer, but yet you want to act like one. So why are you acting like this? It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. If you don't like it, move along. I mean, she can't play games with her friends. She's afraid to turn on her Switch because, she's afraid that she's going to get flooded by people that are trying to make, send her friend requests, not knowing if those people are stalking her or not. She's wondering if she needs to delete all of her VODs. Because her her IDs in the VODs. I mean, come on, man. I mean, if a person wants to, if a person can monetize their channel, and be able to sustain their channel through monetization to the point where they can actually fund the purchase of the games that they're playing so they can play with the people that are coming to their channel, that's fine. I mean, dude, most of these dumbasses have no idea how much it actually costs to run a freaking YouTube channel. I have been streaming for 9 months. I am still not monetized. I have spent more money on this channel than I have ever taken in. I have a net profit of less than $3 on this channel. I have spent more money on this channel than I have taken in. But yet, you know, I mean, if I got like $40, hey, $40 can help me buy a game that I can then play on the channel. That's fine. Let the girl buy the game. Don't trash her for it. So yeah, I spent the last 2 weeks going between being pissed off and crying my brains out because I'm sitting over here helpless. You know, there ain't nothing I can do to help her. I mean, what can I do to help her? I can't do nothing. All I can do is try to comfort her through words. It is the most miserable feeling in the world, man. Most miserable feeling in the world. Have somebody you care about being attacked like that. And then this over the weekend, Ankara, you know, drops a bombshell on us, you know, telling us that she might have to cut back even more. And she's like, I'm sorry, you know, I know I'm only streaming twice a week. And she explained why. She's like, you know, with the prolonged recession that Japan's going through, and the recession being even worse, she's having to work, you know, 16, 18 hours a day, you know, barely making ends meet. And she gets home, she has no time for anything else. She has no time for herself. She has friends that are 2 hours away she hasn't been able to do anything with in months. You know, she gets home, doesn't even know what she's gonna do for her stream. She knows she has to stream. She doesn't, you know, she knows that people are waiting for her on Fridays and Sundays. You know, what is she gonna do? She knows she wants to play games with people, but yet she hasn't planned those games out. You know, and she, you know, she's in a fluster, in a panic, and she's like, I don't have time to plan because I'm panicking. You know, and she might not even have time to stream anymore because she needs to work just to make her ends meet. And I'm like, I tell you what, you know, I mean, and she's the most sweetest girl in the entire world, man. I mean, I told her, I said, you know what? If you set up a donor account, I will literally send you $500 a month. If that helps. And I said, no strings attached. I'll send you $500 a month to help to get you through this. And she refused. She refused. And I'm like, look, I know you're struggling. I can tell you're struggling. You know, I want to help. Let me help you. That's what I'm here for. I don't have any strings attached. This is just who I am. This is just the type of guy I am. I go where I'm needed, and when somebody needs help, I'm there to help them. I don't ask for anything in return. The feeling I get knowing that I help somebody else is my reward. I don't ask for anything else. Do you know how many wonderful people I have met in the last 9 months? because I have shown up at the right time and helped them. Or I was in the right place at the right time and they spoke to me. I mean, it's almost amazing the amount of things I've been able to do this just in the past 9 months because I've been a VTuber and been in the right place at the right time. You know, and that's what I'm doing. That is that, you know, if there's one thing that I want to accomplish with my channel the most, and the one reason why I want to keep my channel going is because I want to be able to be established enough so when people say Marko Yamashita, what, he's a VTuber, you know, and they Google me up or they look me up on YouTube and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, he is a VTuber, okay, you know, and they see that, you know, yeah, I'm not just, you know, a name that's made up, you know, they know it's legit, you know, they know I'm the real deal, that I'm not just another, you know, guy that's talking out of his ass saying, hey, you know, let me help you out here a little bit, you know, and trying to, you know, flaunt money, you know, to buy favors. That's not what I want. I don't want to buy favors through people. I mean, I think that Mickey Nico has finally figured that out. You know, I mean, the last time I emailed her, you know, she seemed to at least respond in a public post exactly to what I sent her. So, I mean, and it's kind of, I'm actually starting to see a bit of a pattern where I'll send her an email, and then within 24 hours, she either posts something on Twitter that directly correlates to something I've said in the email, or she goes and live streams about a topic that's within the email. Like, almost like she's trying to reassure, you know, people that, hey, this is okay, or, you know, I'm working on this, or this is my concern, you know, or this is my anxiety. And then afterwards, you know, she always, you know, she always posts something like, I feel so much better now, I've got that off my chest, and, you know, or she goes and takes care of it. I mean, the last time we talked about the fact that she hadn't gone to the hospital or seen her doctor about her medications or you know, anything of that nature in a long time, and it looked like it sounded like she was like really, really, really in trouble. I mean, she finally went to the doctor and, you know, got a bunch of blood work done. She hasn't said what the blood work results were, but hopefully she says something this week. But I mean, I just want you guys to understand where I'm at with a lot of this stuff. I mean, I'm a lot better now. I've gotten through a lot of the emotional stuff where I broke two of my Switch controllers over the weekend during Splatfest because I was so I got really mad. I was really mad to begin with because we had all planned to do Splatfest together over the weekend, and then everything happened and ended up I didn't get to play any of Splatfest with Hoshinon, which I was really mad about to begin with. And but on the plus side, I finally broke down and got an actual Nintendo Pro controller instead of the cheap knockoff that I had, and I'm actually playing a lot better. So I mean that wasn't too bad, but I was able to work through a lot of the emotional stuff like that. So things are a bunch better. But so this week, hang on. Sorry, Calvin. I need the back read. According to Subaru's survey, only 17 out of 55 people know about Hololive. That's a pretty small audience, and that is in Japan. Hololive's home base, yes, very small home base. Yeah, definitely. I imagine losing Coco, Rushia, and Sana certainly didn't help. That is true. Yeah, aunties just don't quite get it. Either that or they're mad at the world and they just don't understand to begin with. YouTube, I mean, people really don't get how much time and money it takes to be a streamer. I mean, just the basic setup itself is quite a bit of money. I mean, you could spend 500 easy just on a cheap setup, but I mean, if you're gonna be like a VTuber, I mean, just a VTuber itself, I mean, I lucked out. My model itself with the with the price of models right now, if you were to get even a model of my build, I mean, you're talking $2,000 for my model. I mean, easy, and if you want something even more fashionable, desirable, I mean, with a better color palette and everything else, I mean, you're talking $4,000 to $5,000 and probably about 6 month wait, maybe. So, and then if you don't have an iPhone, which most people, want to use an iPhone for, need to get an iPhone for, just to do the streaming aspect of it, or a camera that can do the motion tracking. So, I mean, and that's another investment right there, so, I mean, you're talking a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But just coming up here real quick, I'm going to let you guys know in advance. So I have decided that I'm gonna do. I have a couple of videos that I'm working on in private for Ankuro. I just want to put them together for encouragement for her. I'm not sure if I'm going to release them to the public or not. I think I might actually release them unlisted and allow her to look at them first. And then if she feels, confident enough for me to release them publicly, then I might release them publicly. If not, I'll leave them unlisted. And then I'm also probably gonna do a couple of really short videos just to kind of try to cheer Hoshinon up. I kind of said it in jest of doing some good morning videos for her, but my mind started kind of going after I said that, and so I might try doing kind of like one of those Oni-chan type of Emoto videos, where instead of her waking, Emoto trying to wake her Oni-chan up, it's the other way around, but instead of, what I was thinking of was doing kind of like, trying to wake her up, and I'm like, if you don't wake up, Oni-chan's gonna give you a chew, and then, I act like, okay, chew, and then she wakes up, and then she's like, Oni-chan baka, and then, play the the smacking or the punching sound, kind of thing. I was thinking of doing something kind of like that, just kind of like a little gag type of video to see if I can maybe try to cheer her up a little bit, or make it kind of like, kind of a playful type of thing, just kind of like a little short, so I may do that, and then of course, like I said, with it being October, there's definitely room for going into the horror games, and of course, I still have Phasmo, and then I also have, what was that other game I picked up? Like you guys said, there's the Hollow Cure game, which I still need to work on. And then I did pick up I did pick up the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I've actually never played that, to believe it or not. So I may actually play that on stream at some point, because I know there's lots of endings to that. Let's see, Soma, I haven't played that. And where was the other one? Oh yeah, Ghost Exile. I haven't played. That's the other one I picked up. I haven't quite. That one's kind. I heard it's kind of like Phasmo, only you actually like exercise the ghost. So I figured that would be interesting. Oh yeah, and I did pick up the Final Fantasy VII remake on PC. So I mean, there's that too. Yeah, and when my PC got reformatted, for some reason, the cloud it didn't cloud save my. I keep getting a cloud sync error with my Ghostwire Tokyo, so I gotta send Steam a ticket on that, because otherwise I lost all my progress on that, because I know that they did an update on that, and they should be doing a Halloween type thing coming up in game as well. So yeah, there's that game as well. So I'm gonna try to be more active for October. August. It's already October. Now that I'm starting to feel better, but of course, like Red told me and scolded me, I know I do need to take care of my health. I have plenty of appointments that are coming up. My health is going to come first. I'm not going to um, overexert myself, and I'm not going to promise doing any more or less than what I can do. But I will say that I do have things that I'm working on that I do want to present. My goal, if I do anything for October, is my goal is to try to do something once a week. Try at least, try to upload something or at least stream once a week. If I could at least accomplish that, then I'd be happy. If I do more than that, hey, it's a success. But I don't want to overexert myself while until they clear up what exactly is going on with like I said, with my breathing, with my lungs, with my my throat and everything else. And once we get all of that taken care of, then we'll then hopefully I'll be able to actually do more. So in the meantime, guys, I think what I'll ask of you guys is to expect me to be to present the first edition, or the first part of the Hall Live presentation here coming up here in the next few weeks. Again, it will the first part of the Hall Live presentation is going to be entitled Hall Live has an idol problem. And we will be talking specifically regarding the issues that are happening regarding the harassment, the antis, and the hatred, and the bullying with the from the fan base versus the culture, the treatment, and the response from Covercore and Hall Live as a whole in return. And we will once again cover the fact that Hall Live and Covercore are presenting two very different cultures towards the fan base, and the fan base in return is treating the talent in several different manners, and as a result, there is a very, very mixed and almost lost type of message that is being displayed, and the fact that the talent themselves play fast and loose with with their own fan base, it does not help. It definitely does not help, and we will talk about that. So, and then the second part, part two of the Hall Live presentation will be whether or not is Hall Live in fact has Hall Live in fact peaked and losing its fan base. And I will discuss and show in detail the fact that for this specific year, for 2022, Hall Live as a whole has been losing every month in growth. And the numbers are staggering. It is almost shocking just how poorly performing they are doing. And what will be even more shocking is the fact that the top people that are ranking month per month may not be the people that you expect would be ranking month per month as the top people for Hololive versus the competition. So we'll talk about that as well. So, and then part three is going to be a bit of a part 3 is going to be a very hard topic to talk about, because part 3 is going to dive into the actual investment of Hololive as a whole, and it gets very ambiguous when you start diving into Hololive's investment, because when you start looking at what Hololive wants to do moving forward, and the projects and the vision that are supposedly being presented to us, there's not a lot of public information out there, and unless you are an investor, you are not privileged to that information. So a lot of the public information is very generalized. But what I can say, hey, how's it going? Welcome. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. It's nice to see you. I am doing okay. I am just reviewing what I am going to be doing for the month of October. I'm glad you're here. I know this month has been very has been very sporadic. I apologize for that. But I am doing a lot better now that I've been able to get further along in the recovery process. So and I've been able to recover from surgery. I've been able to recover from COVID. I'm back on my feet more, so on and so forth. So I'm glad you're here. Yeah. But I'm not sure how many people out there are privileged or even have looked into the public information as a whole. But what's fascinating is if you guys do any watching at all about what's going on in world politics today, or even what's going on in the financial market. Beavers! Welcome, Beavers! It's been so long since I've seen you. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I know life is busy. Life has been really busy for everybody lately. I know. I completely understand. I completely understand. I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you were able to pop in to say hey. Yeah. Life is hard. I'll tell you what. It's definitely been, and it's been hard lately. I mean, with the way that the recession has been going on and hitting people and everything else, if you guys have seen or watched the financial markets, the Japanese yen versus the US dollar has devalued so much this year that it is now, I believe, how how should I say this? Okay, if it drops 50% more, I mean it's already dropped significantly. If it drops any more, it's gonna be at an all-time low. It's gonna be at the same low as it was back, and I believe since like 1982, and that was when Japan started their was at the very bottom of their very first recession, at the very beginning of the recession, that they had, way back when, that they more or less kind of say that they've never gotten out of, even though like financially they, the country has recovered, but job wise they never recovered. But I mean, that's just how much that the yen has devalued. And so the power of the dollar right now is so significantly strong. Like $1 equals like 140 some odd yen. And there's like the potential of it to like hit over 150 yen. And like some analysts are saying that it could jump all the way up to like 175, and if inflation happens, they're saying that it could actually climb up to like 200 yen, and if that happens, that basically bottoms out the yen completely. And the fact that if the yen bottoms out that far, they're in trouble. Okay. And the fact that some of the investments that Hololive themselves have put money into, if Hololive has put, if Hololive and Covercore have put any type of amount of money, significant money into this venture that they have supposedly been doing, that is supposed to be this metaverse that they claim that they're building, all right? And if it comes anywhere near trying to rival the Tower of Fantasy world or Genshin Impact world, which the development costs of those, say they put 50 million US dollars worth of yen into this game. I mean, that you're literally looking at the equivalent of, like, at the time, you're looking at the equivalent of like 1.5. So you're looking at hundreds of millions of yen that they have borrowed, that their investment firms have had to basically borrow against from the Bank of Japan just to develop this game. And if the return on investment of that game doesn't come back, Covercore basically goes bankrupt. And the only way they can get return on investment is if they charge to buy the game or they microtransaction it. You see where I'm going with this? So, there's a lot of, ooh, man. My microphone just peaked there, really, really bad. Let me turn it down. So and we'll definitely go into that a lot more. When I do the presentation, but there's just a lot of things that they haven't explained to anybody. They haven't really gone into much detail about. There's a lot of things that there was one article. Yeah. Well, this is my belief. Okay, there is currently, as far as I know, I'm not sure what the Tower of Fantasy is built on, but I'm assuming it's built on some type of Unity like engine. I know that Genshin Impact was built with a modified type of Unity engine, but those two now, and I could be wrong. Okay, the only other game I'm trying to think back. There are okay. So, and I want you to bear in mind that this is as far as I can recall. Okay, this is by memory. If Hololive intends on doing a massively online, always online, if it's going to be like a real-time, massively multiplayer online games, similar to like, Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft, it's always online. There's currently not a game built on Unity that has the capability to function and do that kind of environment. As far as I know, there are games that have used Unity assets, but there's not a game that has run entirely on Unity that has done that. There has been games that have run instances like Rust, Final Fantasy, Genshin Impact. They do instance worlds where it's a compact, limited amount of player count that are able to pop in and out, but they're confined. But Rust is also a very small, finite world that is, the assets are completely different than the type of world that they're trying to build. So I'm not sure if, and they're also very old assets. So I'm not sure if that type of engine is even compatible with what they're trying to do. But I also was kind of wondering if maybe, they weren't all of a sudden playing Rust because like they had some kind of contract with Unity and they're like, here, play Rust, we'll give you all these licenses for free type thing. But yeah, so microtransactions is probably what they would do, and that would help offset the they would obviously do gacha with the Hololive generations, just like they're they would do gacha with Gen 1, Gen 0, so on and so forth. But that's neither here nor, and we'll talk about that in larger detail. But yeah, that's kind of how I have planned out for the rest of the year, and for next month as well. Gaming wise will probably be I'll just like right now where I'll try to do like a tweet, or I'll put up a room like earlier in the day, or try to do a little bit of ahead time to give people an advance notice. Hey, I'm going to be online. If you want to catch me, if you can catch me, that'd be great. That kind of thing. Whether or not I continue the wrestling portion of things on Sundays, I'm not entirely sure yet, because I do want to try to revamp it a little bit, and that really depends on whether or not I can get my health well enough to the point where I can revamp it the way I want to, because I would like to introduce a little bit more than just here's the matches and then that's it. I would like to try to introduce a little bit more of a dynamic where I wanted it to go, where I can introduce a bit more of like a storyline element to it, and give a bit more of a presentation to it, where it's not just here's the match card, show up Sunday, here's the matches, here's the champion. I wanted to try to give kind of like a news brief type thing, like give like a little segment, a news brief of here's like the pre-fight news brief, here's the post matches news brief type thing. Try to build kind of like a little story element to it, so there is some type of story behind it, just like in real wrestling type thing. But we'll see. We'll see, because the viewer count on that did kind of start going down a bit, but I was having really a lot of fun just sitting around and building the different stuff and tweaking the different elements of characters. We finally got Kason in on the roster. Kason finally made her debut. She's in the roster. You finally introduced our invasion angle. So we that was there, right there at the end. So I kind of want to keep going on, I did have a lot of good stuff coming up. Nanners was possibly gonna make an appearance. Project Melody was probably gonna make an appearance. Maybe a few other people were gonna make an appearance. So there was some stuff there. It's not dead by any stretch of the means. So just saying, if it comes back, it might just be that the New World Order is gonna be all Visojo. You don't necessarily need the outsiders. The outsiders, don't just need to be present for the NWO to show up. Hey, you know what? There's a very there is a if the game didn't screw up, okay, this is just I'm gonna give you a little bit of a secret here. I may have said this before, but if the game didn't screw up, she was actually supposed to show up and run in. She was supposed to do a run in, right? The music was supposed to play, and everyone was supposed to turn around. She was supposed to do a run in from behind, and do her finisher on Kason's opponent, and then like sneak out of the ring. And then Kason was supposed to turn around and pin the opponent and win the match, but I guess the game forgot to do the run-in portion of it, so it skipped over that the portion of the match, and that's why Kason lost. It was like, oh man, because that was supposed to be the ending, was that she sneaks in, does her finisher, and Kason wins, and everyone's like, no way, the outsiders are here. That was supposed to be the finish, but it didn't happen. I was like, no. Oh, I was so mad, but I was like, oh, so, but yeah, oh well. But yeah. So we'll introduce. We'll definitely have to introduce people along the way, but yeah, exactly. I was like, damn you, 2K. But yeah. I figure what better way to start an invasion angle than to have probably the biggest, baddest, dirtiest quote unquote idol group invade the supposedly most say so idol group that is supposed to be the standard bearer of VTubing. Well, let's get Visojo in there. So we'll work on that though. We'll definitely work on it. 'Cause like I said, I really enjoyed tweaking that stuff and playing around with it. And there's lots of stuff. There's lots of stuff that we could play with that. Night. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. It's nice to see you. Well, nice to see you. Yeah, so we'll definitely do that. The next couple weeks is just gonna be kind of like I'm gonna do what I can this week. Like tomorrow, I have they're gonna be doing some more diagnostics and scannings and stuff like that throughout the day. Running tests to try to find out what's going on with my lungs and my throat, and then I believe the next day, let's see here, and then the next day, I'll have a follow-up. We'll go over the results of that. And then on Friday, I have more physical therapy for my hand and my arm. But this week I'm going to try to focus on finishing those recordings and stuff like that for Ankara and Hoshinon, because I really want to try to get those recordings done for them, because number one, my heart goes out to both of them. I want to take care of them. If I can't do anything for them, financially, if I can't do anything for them physically, I at least want to try to give them, put a smile on their face, or try to make them laugh, even if it's with my bad Japanese or something like that. I want to try to do something nice for them, just to give them a moment of happiness, to show them that, hey, I tried doing something nice for them, from my channel to them, if nothing else, and then next week we'll start working on the rest of this stuff. We'll like I said, the first two episodes for the HoloLive presentations are in the bag. The research has already been done. Presentations, all the research has been pulled together. It's just a matter of making sure that I have them, the presentation, and presentable for you guys to be able to see. And we'll start talking about that, and we'll go through that. Then October, spook month, plenty of Phasmos, Soma, like I said, I haven't cleared Village yet, so maybe we'll try to do Village. Have the Ghost Exile game, haven't played that yet. And there's there's another one that a friend of mine recommended that I picked up. It was It is ooh, Stories Untold. She said it was pretty good. I haven't tried it yet. Supposedly it's pretty good, and I think it's told like in episodes, like 4 or 5 episodes. So, we can try that one too. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna force myself. My goal, like I said, is to try to do one a week. If I do one stream a week, I'll be happy. I just, but I most of all, I just want to try to, do something positive this month. I've done a lot. I'll be honest, guys. I've done a lot of outreach, if nothing else, with a lot of other VTubers. This past month and the month before, I've met a lot of really nice Japanese VTubers of all things. And it's quite fascinating that my that a lot of them, I've told them, I said, I'm using DeepL to help me translate my English, and some of them said, that they didn't realize I was using it, and I'm like, really? Are you sure? Because most people say I sound very machine-like. But Hoshinon and Ankaro actually told me that the way I phrase my sentences are getting a lot better, so maybe that's also why. But I've met a lot of nice people, and I'm actually starting to pick up things a little bit better. So if anything else, I'm starting to learn. So that's also been a positive. Unfortunately, because of Ankaro's very hectic schedule and limited amount of time, she said she would like to collaborate at some point, but she just doesn't have the time, which is very unfortunate. Because I would really like to talk to her, like, person to person, because I really want to, like, I just know that I could, like, I could set her up for so many of her jokes. I just know I could set her up for so many of her jokes, and she would be able to play off of me so well that it would be really funny for her audience. But I just hope that maybe one day I can convince her to open up a Streamlabs donation thing or a donor account or something. So, like, because she works really hard, guys. If you guys, can do anything to help her, if you guys are not subscribed to her or anything like that, if we can even get her over 1,000, so YouTube will finally monetize her, guys. That's the biggest. That's one of the biggest things that we could do right now. I mean, if we could get her over 1,000, just so we can get her monetized, that would be the biggest thing. I mean, I mean, that's the only thing that she's focused on right now too. Is I mean, if we can, if we could get her over 1,000 so she can get monetized, you know. Well, to be honest, Splatoon, isn't it is not um but when I played Splatoon, I think first everyone else was too busy playing Splatoon also. And then also it's watching Splatoon is not for everyone. And it's more about the interaction of talking to somebody when you are playing Splatoon versus like watching the action, I guess. But yeah. Plus, I tend to ramble when I do a stream like this, so it's definitely different. um, so, anyways, guys, it is unless you're doing like maybe like the story mode, then it may be a little bit more fun. But like for me, what I tend to do is I tend to see. Here's the thing: when I play Splatoon, I tend to kind of and I don't mean this in a malicious way. But I do tend to raid other VTubers that are playing that offer audience participation. I do show up in their streams, and I do try to play with them. And part of the reason why I do want to play with them is because I want, especially if it's a smaller channel, isn't number one, I want to be able to give them the audience participation, give them the give them the watch time and the play time, and then and try to talk to them, get to know them, and see what type of person they are, or what their story is, or what their intentions are, stuff like that, and it gives me an opportunity to kind of look at their background, or their history, or their socials and stuff like that, to find out what kind of VTuber they really are. If they are just kind of a variety streamer, if they are trying to be an idol, or I mean, some of them are R18 adult VTuber type of VTubers, Gundam Evolution. I have heard of Gundam Evolution, but I have not tried it. Gundam Evolution. I have heard of that. I've heard a couple of my JP brethren talk about Gundam Evolution. That's a mobile game, right? Wait a minute. It is platforms: PS4, Xbox One, PS5. It is not mobile. It is also mobile. What? Oh, that's why it's tagged mobile. It's because it's free to play. Okay. Gundam Evolution. Okay, so it is on Steam. Okay. Steam. No, 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 no. You do not understand, my friend. When I talk R18, well, maybe that's true too. I have no idea how far. I have no idea how far Project Melody has actually gone on stream. Um, how can I say this without getting banned? Whoops, turn that down. So, has Project Melody ever climbed the illustrious mountain called Mount Ecstasy to the very peak and then yelled from the mountaintop? If you get my drift. Has she ever climbed climbed it to the very peak and then like actually peaked and screamed and once she reached the peak and said, "I made it," live on camera? Because I mean, there are like VTubers that like that do that with what they now. Yeah, something like that. There's like there are VTubers that talk about like you'll see VTubers out there that will talk about okay. So there are VTubers out there that will that they'll like play punishment games where like they'll play like let's say like they'll play Slither or they'll play like Fall Guys, and every time they lose, they will use quote unquote health equipment and they'll use one of those like spin the wheel type of things that will dictate how long they have to use the quote unquote health equipment, and they will turn the health equipment on live on stream to where you can hear the buzzing of the quote unquote health equipment that they are using, and then they'll continue playing with it on. And they will continue to play and use it until they quote unquote finish. If you get my drift, and they will finish live. If you get my drift, yeah, on stream, and they still try to get away with that on YouTube. They're cracked down on it a lot more than they used to be. But they still get away with it on YouTube. You can still find them. They are more prevalent on Twitch. Until Twitch is nagged enough about that YouTuber or that VTuber to take them down, and then those VTubers will occasionally get banned, but they'll only get banned for like a week, and then they'll get their account back. So it's like, okay, we'll ban you for a week, type thing. So a lot of them have like gone over to Twitch, and then a lot of those, I mean, so A lot of those VTubers have actually migrated over to Twitch because like YouTube has now built like an algorithm. I kid you not, guys. YouTube has this is how funny it is. Okay, YouTube has actually built an algorithm to YouTube has actually built an algorithm to detect the sound of to detect the sound of the health equipment. So they literally have to like it has to they literally are have to like make sure that the I'll tell you why I know this in a minute, okay? But they literally have to like ensure that the volume of the sound that the mic picks up is below a certain threshold. Otherwise, the algorithm will pick it up, and the video will automatically get blocked by YouTube. And then there's also another algorithm that YouTube now uses to where like if they say certain things in sequence, the algorithm will pick it up, and then that video will automatically get banned. And the only reason why the only reason why I know this is because I'm friends with a couple of AV VTubers, adult VTubers, R18 VTubers that have told me about the various things that they have been going through. I like I said, guys, I have made lots of friends since I've become a VTuber. And they have told me that they've had so many of their live streams banned or taken down, or like one of them had their entire channel completely banned live on stream because she was saying she was saying 4-5 in Japanese, which is an ambiguous, itchy type of jargon, if you guys catch what that is supposed to mean. So she she was saying it a bunch of times, you know, and her channel got her channel got banned. Her channel got banned for explicit content. So but yeah, is yeah, that's a basic rough, you know, like, you know, R18 adult VTuber type thing. Some of them actually do they'll do actual live what adult VTubers call their version of 3D streaming. But their version of 3D streaming is actual like live presentation, where it's them, their actual body, them from neck down, on a live feed, and you know, and that's when they do their thing. This is your daily dose of VTuber knowledge by Marko Yamashita. Tune in tomorrow when I teach you more about the inner workings of adult VTubers. Well, I can tell you this much. With okay, let me see. So, I am not. I am going to be very generalized here. I'm going to try to be very generalized here, without being too explicit. Hang on. Okay. And then all right, so this is the agency that one of my friends works for. I get cut off there. No. Okay. So this is the agency that one of my friends works for. All right. And so now there is, I think there's probably about, I want to say there's probably about 9 or 10 of them that work for the agency. There was only 3 of them when they started, and they actually had it was actually pretty cute when they started, because when they started, they all had they had this very Alice in Wonderland type of theme going. You know, she was Alice. There was the Mad Hatter, and then there was like this young girl that had well, there was a girl that was the cat, you know, and then yeah, after that it kind of moved on from there. Anyways, all of them do the R18 stuff, the health equipment stuff, and everything else like that. Yep. Yeah. She was she's been there since practically the beginning, pretty much. They do they do the whole health equipment thing and whatnot. And without going into too much detail and without giving too much away, let me just say that I have been privy to be able to have a sneak preview of what is offered all the way up to their version of the 3D streams, and it is they use everything. They actually use everything. You know, they actually sit there, you know, and you could see them like with they use sometimes they use a KU binaural mic. Other times they'll use the actual dummy head. Most of the time they use the dummy head though. And other times they'll use the just, you know, the earpiece, the 2 ears types. But a lot of times that kind of plays on the type of earplay that they're doing. Like if they're just doing like the, you know, put you in the lap type thing, or if they're like actually doing like more than that. But yeah, if you do, like, you know, and of course, you know, if you want to be able to see all that, you have to pay membership and stuff like that to be able to see all the way up to that part. But it is it is quite an experience. Let me just put it that way. It is a very it is quite an experience, and yeah, let me just say that a lot of the when they so a lot of the women that are behind the VTuber avatars generally fit what the avatars look like and in some way, shape, or form, and it's almost uncanny that in a lot of ways they find a way to express how they actually look in real life by expressing themselves through their avatars in one way or another. I can tell without going into too much detail again. I can tell you with utmost certainty that there are at least there are at least two people in Hall Life that have now more or less gone into the realm that of VTubers that I am now talking about. They're not using their Hall Life personas, obviously. However, they have now basically plunged into that territory, and I was actually extremely shocked when I happened to come across that. And it's another thing that I will definitely, and I think someone said that earlier, where it Kuro, duty calls. Take care. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. I was glad to see you again. I just, I seriously wonder, there's I know that they are not utilizing their own personas while pursuing, they're utilizing their own persona while pursuing this particular venture. However, the fact that they are the entity that is providing the vocalization behind a persona that is represented by a company of that stature, it really makes me wonder exactly whether or not at some point, if that were to become a controversy, if Hololive would simply terminate them for the same reasons that they claimed that Rusia had inflicted irreparable damage to the company's image that could not be rectified, because of their extracurricular activities. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that these people would necessarily, well, they would be out of a lot of money more, probably because of how much that they make through Hololive. However, they would not necessarily be hurting, considering that they by my count, one of them essentially makes about $300 to $350 US dollars simply streaming once a month. on a certain platform, and then does twitcasting, membership twitcasting like once a week, and then that's it. So I mean, it's not like they would necessarily be hurting. But yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a realm that's a threshold that they could challenge at some point. You know what I'm saying? So, but people wonder where where and how a lot of these girls can afford to spend so much money like on gacha games and stuff like that. Um, Considering how much they actually spend, and that's why I mean they make that much money just doing this kind of stuff. And I mean I don't know how many people I've seen Mel's ASMR room. Mel's ASMR room is actually very, very lavish compared to what I thought she would probably be using. And I was like really, really like, wow, just it explains a lot, but at the same time, I was not prepared to see the fact that she had such a well prepared room. That I mean, it's not on par with like what Noelle uses, but it is definitely very well built and soundproofed for sure. But Gundam Evolution. So is this like a okay, so it's a fast-paced and immersed team-based first-person shooter game where you pilot mobile suit. Oh, okay, it's co-op PvP. Interesting. I will have to look at this. Players constantly disconnect, causing match to end. Ew. I'll have to look at it. I'll definitely have to look at it. But anyways, yeah, guys, that's pretty much the summary of what's going on. I didn't really have too much more to say at this point, but I wanted to fill everyone in on what's going on, what's happening. I'm not going anywhere. But I am definitely going to be trying my best to take care of myself, have everything squared away, and have my health issues being addressed while doing my best to work on what needs to be worked on. I will not push myself further than I need to push myself, and I will definitely not put my health aside simply to do something for the sake of the channel or streaming or anything like that. But the good news is that things are seemingly starting to clear up. So so long as that continues to go in a positive direction, I will slowly try to incorporate streaming and gaming online a little bit more at a time. And we'll actually play around with time frames and whatnot a little bit as well, because I do want to try to hit everybody as much as possible. I know some people have, with all the different time zones out there, that it's a bit hard to hit everybody. So I have tried streaming for me in the morning, and then and then like right now, it's evening for me, but it's morning for other people. So I have tried to hit different time zones, or time frames and whatnot. But we'll play around with it, see what's best for everybody. And hopefully we'll try to find a time that maybe helps hit everyone or most of everyone. And if anything, if I'm able to finally get around to it, maybe I can actually start trying to clip and VOD more things where everything is condensed a little bit further as well. So, but anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go so I can attend my appointments tomorrow morning. I appreciate everyone showing up here. I appreciate everyone who shows up for the VODs, guys. I'm gonna ask this, this very politely. If we can, if there's anything we can do to help Ankaro get to 1,000 subscribers on her channel, I'd appreciate it. I know she would appreciate it. I just want to try to get that pressure off of her. I mean, it bothers me that she has to work, 16, 18 hours a day. It really bothers me, and there's nothing I can do about it, I mean, yeah, that's part of life and all that stuff, but I mean, God, I just wish there was more that we could do to help her, if there's anything we can do, that's what we can do. If we can help her get to 1,000, help her get monetized, I mean, that would be a big help for her. So, if you know anybody who likes cute Japanese VTubers, I mean, it would be a big help, guys. Other than that, I mean, if my channel grows to 1,000, it grows to 1,000. If it shrinks down to 5, it shrinks down to 5. I mean, that's the way it is. But I'd like to help her out more than anything else. That's the only thing I care about right now. So that and Hoshidan, and I just hope and pray that once she's done with her hiatus, that she's able to come back and we can all go back to playing games and having fun like we did with the old times. So anyways, thank you guys for showing up and being here. Hopefully in the next few days we'll do some regular streaming stuff, and we'll start getting doing the regular things that we usually do on my channel. Get back to kind of like a normal type of routine, and go from there. And if anything else comes up, I'll definitely let you guys know on either the community board here on the channel or on Twitter. So please, keep an eye out on those two things. For the quick and dirty type of communication. Those are my quickest ways of contacting you guys for any kind of quick updates that come along. Otherwise, yeah, just keep an eye out for the next room or the next stream announcement, and we'll talk to you soon, okay? So until then, this is Marko Yamashita signing off. Please have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or night wherever you are. I appreciate you guys all. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your time and attention. We will talk to you soon.